Hello everyone, we are team Arvind Krishna and we are here to present our communication skill project.
Our project is a mimicry performance based on the talk The Secret to Getting Anything You Want in Life by Jennifer Cohen.
First and foremost, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our institute NIT Raipur for giving us this valuable opportunity.
We would also like to thank our respected professor Mr. Anoop Kumar Tiwari sir for his continuous guidance throughout this project.
This project has helped us learn about how to create videos, how to speak confidently like TEDx speakers, and develop effective communication skills.
We sincerely hope you enjoy our performance. Now, let us introduce ourselves. I am Aditya Singh, IT first sem.
I am Neelansh Raghuwanshi, IT first sem.
I am Atharv Lohar, IT first sem.
I am Harsh Singh from IT First Sem.
I am Kamal Patel from IT First Sem.
My name is Aakanksha Sahu, IT First Sem. So I know the secret of getting anything you want in life. But before I share it with you, let's pause and ask, why don't most of us get what we want? If you look closely, it usually comes down with one thing: the fear. The fear of failing, the fear of being rejected, the fear of not being good enough. Now here's the interesting part. All of those fears are rooted in one deeper problem: self-doubt. Think about it. Self-doubt is like an invisible chain that keeps us stuck where we are. It's the voice inside your head that whispers, what if I'm not smart enough? What if I embarrass myself? What if I try and nothing changes? And because of that voice, we don't even start. Self-doubt is the reason someone doesn't apply for the job they are capable of. It's the reason we procrastinate on working out or building the body we dream of. It's the reason people stay in unhealthy relationships or sometimes avoid relationships altogether. At its core, self-doubt is just a story. A story we keep repeating to ourselves about why we can't do something. And here is the tricky part. The most intelligent you are, the more convincing that story becomes. You see, smart people are great at imagining future scenarios. They can calculate every possible way something could go wrong. They'll say, if I try this business idea, I might lose money. If I confess my feeling, I might be rejected. If I ask up in class, I might sound stupid. And because they predict failure so vividly, they never take action. It's like being in a car, having the map, knowing the direction, but never starting the engine. Because you keep imagining accidents that might happen on the way. That's why I believe boldness, courage to act despite fear, is a stronger indicator of success than intelligence. Think about it. History is filled with bold people who weren't necessarily the smartest in the room. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. He didn't let self-doubt stop him. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was finally accepted. Imagine if she had believed the story that she wasn't good enough. The world would never have read her books. Closer to home, even in our daily lives, you can see this difference. Two students may have the same ability. One doubts herself, waits until she is perfectly ready, and misses opportunities. The other one, if less prepared, raises her hand, takes the chance, and learns along the way. Who do you think grows faster? The bold one. Now, I'm not saying intelligence doesn't matter. Of course it does. But intelligence without boldness is like having a sword you never pick up. Boldness, on the other hand, allows you to step into arenas where growth happens. Whether it's interviews, competitions, or relationships. So, the real secret to getting what you want in life is not about eliminating fear, because fear will always be there. It's about acting in spite of it. It's about recognizing that self-doubt is just a story, not the fact. The truth is, you don't need to be fearless, you just need to be bold enough to take the first step. And the second, confidence doesn't come before action, it comes after action. So, next time that inner voice of doubt says you can't, I challenge you to respond. Watch me. Because in the end, it's not the smartest, the most talented, or the most perfect who succeed. It's the ones bold enough to start, bold enough to continue, and bold enough to believe in themselves, even when no one else does.
I'm not here to tell you that smart people can't be bold or that bold people can't be smart. Of course, they can. Boldness is the secret sauce. It's the ingredient that transforms a good idea into a life changing success. It's the action that puts you on the path to everything you want in life. Most smart people have an idea, a plan, but they don't take the action and wait for the right moment. But old people don't wait for the right moment. They know if they wait, they will wait forever. When I was 18 years old, I had a huge dream. I grew up in a small place, Winnipeg, Canada, and I wanted to be a VJ for Make Music, their version of MTV. This was the cool job, and it felt a million miles away, even being considered. I knew I needed a killer demo tape, not just a good one, but one that was so memorable it couldn't be ignored. I was just some kid with no connection, no experience, just a gigantic aspiration. And that's where the boldness came in. I had a truly crazy idea. Keanu Reeves was the biggest star in the world at that time. And by chance, he was in Winnipeg performing Hamlet. My brain immediately connected the dots, and I thought my tape had to have Keanu Reeves in it. I told people this plan, and everyone, my family, friends, and even the guys at the local coffee shop laughed at me. And they were right to laugh. It felt ridiculous. Why would the biggest star agree to help a random Canadian teacher? It made no logical sense. But I realized that if I waited for a logical path, I would be waiting forever. My path wasn't going to be built on smart connection. It had to be built on sheer guts. It wasn't about being prepared. It was about being determined. So I decided I'm going to ask him. This was the bold move, not just dreaming about it, but setting the intention to physically make the ask. This single decision was the most important step. It required ignoring the fear of failure and honestly, the fear of looking like a fool. I had to push past all the logic that said no. The worst possible outcome was no, which would leave me exactly where I started. My mind had to focus only on the possibility of yes. The best possible outcome was a game changer. I wasn't going to let the fear of rejection kill my dream. That bold choice, the courage to ask, is what created the opportunity. But the real lesson is it wasn't about the celebrity. The lesson is that boldness is the catalyst for success. Smart people analyze, bold people act. Smart people wait for permission. Bold people walk through the door. If you have a dream, you need a plan. And you also need that moment of courage that overrides all your reasonable doubts. That's the secret sauce. That's the ingredient you need. The world is full of brilliant people who are quietly waiting for permission. Don't be one of them. Find your crazy idea, ignore the laughter, and make the boldest ask you can imagine. Now, I would like to end by a famous quote: Fa- Fortune favors the bold. So Be bold.
The moment I saw him, I knew this wasn't just a celebrity sighting. It was a cosmic intervention. It was a chaotic Thursday afternoon near the studios, the kind of day where the Los Angeles heat hangs thick and the crowds are a little too eager. And there he was, Keanu Reeves, looking effortlessly cool, surrounded by a small, ineffective security buffer. He was trying to make a quick exit from some promotional event. I broke through the small crowd like a heat seeking missile. I didn't care about decorum or his personal space. This was it. I stopped right in front of him, planted my feet, and probably looked like a wild eyed lunatic. Keanu, I said. My voice was surprisingly steady, considering my heart was trying to punch its way out of my chest. You're gonna be my ticket to my dream job. He stopped, his eyes, usually crinkled in that characteristic benevolent confusion, looked at me, utterly dumbfounded. A pause hung in the air, thick with the silence of thousand unspoken fan demands. He finally spoke, his voice, the low, slightly gravelly tone I knew from 100 movies. Oh, how would I just give an autograph? I almost laughed. Autograph? Why do I want your autograph? That doesn't help me at all. I learned in conspirationally lowering my voice. So the nearby onlookers wouldn't catch me full audacity of my pitch. I need you to get me my dream job. He tried the classic celebrity blush off, the one that's meant to be kind but firm, a polite dismissal. He flashed a quick, disarming smile. Okay, look, I'm late for something right now. Give me your phone number and I'll call you when I have a couple minutes. He thought that would be end of it. He thought I would fumble for my phone number and then he would get away. He clearly didn't know how determined I was. My dream job, a junior analyst position at the one studio that produced his best films, felt like it was hanging on this single flimsy thread of promise. I looked around frantically. I had no paper, no pen, and wasn't about to trust my memory. My eyes landed on a nearby person fumbling with his purse. Excuse me, I said, grabbing his arm. I need your pen. Now, he momentarily stunned, but I was already digging into my pocket. I pulled out a crumpled piece of trash, a shiny silver gum wrapper. I flattened it quickly on the back of my hand, took the pen from the person, and in bold, messy black letters, I scrawled my name and my number, Jennifer. I showed the wrapper into Keanu's hand. The silver crinkled loudly. Don't lose this, I commanded. And then, before he could say in another word, before his brain could process the gum wrapper and the eyeliner, I ran away. I didn't even look back to see his reaction. I just bolted high on adrenaline and the sheer audacity of what I had just done. The next day, I went to school. Before I could even tell my family, I told my friends. I recounted the story with the breathless conviction of a true believer. Everyone laughed at me loudly. They teased me relentlessly. Oh my god, Jenny, Keanu Reeves is going to call you. Sure, he is definitely going to be your ticket to Hollywood. Day 2. Same thing happened. But now more kids knew. The laughter and the teasing intensified. Oh, ho, yeah. The, did Keanu call you? Like, haha, what a loser you are. Of course, no call. Every ring of my flip phone was met with a chorus of sarcastic mock applause. Day 3. The joke had reached critical mass by the time, and the final bell rang. I was mentally preparing my family's dismissal of the whole ridiculous tale I got. Day 3. The joke had reached critical mass by the time. The final bell rang. I was mentally preparing for my family's dismissal of the whole ridiculous tale. I got home, tired and feeling the crushing weight of reality. As I walked through the door, my mom was in the kitchen, casually stirring something on the stove. Oh, honey, she said, did you hear the answering machine? Answering machine? God, I'm dating myself, aren't I? This was before we had voicemails on our phones. It was the beach box on the counter with blinking red light. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered. I walked over my hands, shaking a little, and started at the machine. The little counter showed one new message. Every nerve ending in my body was screaming. I took a deep breath, trying to prepare for another student's prank call. I pressed play. First, I heard the faint click of my mom picking up the phone, followed by her slightly perplexed hello. Then I heard a man's voice, warm and low, immediately recognizable, asking, is Jennifer there? My mother, protective as ever, hesitated. Who is this? She demanded, and then I heard the voice. That was now my only hope, the voice that was about to turn my entire life upside down.
Now look, did I get the greatest demo tape of all time? You bet I did. Did I get the job interview at Much Music? I swear did. Did I get the audition? Yes, I did. You are right, you are right. Did I get the job? Hell no. I did not get the job. So why am I even telling you this story? And the reason why I am telling you this story is that was very pivotal moment for me in my life. It taught me a big real truth about success, which is you need to ask for what you want, period. You need to ask, you know that saying, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. It's actually quite true. In a time now we are bombarded with information overload from every influencer or expert telling you how to be successful, do this, do that, do the other thing. When it's really the most basic simple thing you can do. You need to stop deliberating, stop planning, stop creating flowchart and just act. Now, in the words of another fellow Canadian, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So, when you think to yourself, what does boldness really mean? It basically comes down to this. You chase what you want and you don't take what you can get. The problem is most of us live on default. We default to what's convenient. We take what's available and we acquiesce to what in front of us. Now, what I have realized is that there is really big misconception of what boldness really is. People assume that boldness is something you either born with or you are not, but that's quite that's not quite true. Boldness is a skill like anything else. You need to practice it. You need to harness it to get better and better at it. There is a mindset that I developed and it's called a 10% target. And that it is basically very simple. The idea is that whatever you want most in life, you make 10 attempts and here the thing, when you set the 10% target, your mindset changes completely. You stop fearing rejection because you start seeing it as a part of the process, not the end of it. You stop measuring your worth by the yeses and start valuing yourself by your effort, by how bold you were in trying. Because really, success does not come to the most talented person or even the smartest person. It comes to the person who dare to show up again and again, even after hearing no. You see, when I first started applying this, my goal was not to get everything. I wanted it was to build resilience to strength then that muscle of courage. I sent 10 proposals, make 10 calls, or woke up to 10 people just to ask for what I wanted. And you know what happened? Most of the time, I still got rejected, but every once in a while, I got a yes. And that yes changed everything. And I realized something profound. Life reward action, not hesitation. The world does not open doors for wishful thinkers. It opens them for doers. If you sit quietly waiting for the perfect chance, you will watch someone else seize it. But when you start knocking loudly, repeatedly, even awkwardly, opportunities appear. And those opportunities over time stack into a little life that look bold from the outside, but it is built on consistent small courage and acts. Think about the stories that inspire us. They are not never about people who played it safe. They are about those who risk embarrassment, failure, and critique to go after what they wanted most. That's what boldness is. Not fearlessness, but action in spite of fear. So, here my challenge to you, take one thing you have been holding back on. Maybe it's sending the email, applying for the internship, launching that idea, and give yourself a 10% target. 10 tries, that's it. Because if you really want to grow, waiting for the right moment is not the answer, creating the moment is. Every bold person you admire has one thing in common. They acted before they felt already. So, if you want to leave that excite you, start with action. Don't wait for confidence. Let your bold step build it. At the end of the day, boldness is not about luck or magic. It's about motion. You ask, you try, you learn, you adapt. That's how dreams are built brick by brick. So stop waiting, start asking, and remember 10 attempts can change your life.
The problem is most people don't make 10 attempts. The truth is most people don't even make one attempt. They call themselves out before they even try. They disqualify themselves in their own minds. They come up with excuses. I am not ready. I don't have enough experience. What if I fail? And they never even take the first step. But here's the thing, you cannot win a game that you never play. Every success, every success story you have ever heard started with someone who decided to try, even when they didn't feel ready, even when the odds weren't in their favor. And the purpose of the 10% target is to get very comfortable at failing 90% of the time. Now, that might sound strange at first. Why would anyone want to get comfortable failing? But think about it. Every rejection, every no, every closed door, it builds a kind of muscle inside you. It builds mental toughness. It teaches you that failure is not fatal, it's simply feedback. It's a sign that you are in motion, that you are in the game. Now, I guarantee if you make 10 attempts at anything, one will be successful. Because here's what I know, either one, you will get the thing you want, uh, or second, you will get something that you never even knew was even available. And that second outcome, the thing you never even knew existed, that's where life gets interesting. Sometimes the door you knock doesn't open, but the sound of your knock makes another door open. That's the magic of taking action. I want to take one step back because this is what normally happens. What most people do is the reasons why most people don't get the job they want is because they don't actually go for the job they want. They see what's available on monster.com or LinkedIn and they limit themselves to what's posted there. They look at the list of the openings and pick the one that seems safe or realistic. But here's the truth, your dream job might not even be listed. The best opportunities often aren't on the menu, they are created by people bold enough to ask for them. And the reason why most people don't get the money they want is, guess what? They don't even ask for the money they want. They settle for whatever number is because they are afraid of seeming greedy or ungrateful. But if you don't value yourself, why would anyone else? Actually, a survey was taken of over 160,000 people who truly believed that they deserve to make more money. And the two-thirds of the two-thirds of those people never even asked for a raise. Think about the two-thirds. But here's the incredible part. The 70% of the people who did ask for a raise got it. What does that tell you? It tells you that asking works. It tells you that boldness works. It tells you that when you have the courage to articulate what you want, the world often responds in your favor. Closed mouths don't get fed, and the silent dreams stay dreams. Now, I want to go back because I was making another point about the 10% target. The 10% target, like I was saying, does two things. Number one, it makes you comfortable with failing 90% of the time. Number two, it gives you the resilience and skill. Another example, when you go to a restaurant, most of us, what we do is we order what's on the menu. We pick from what's already been offered by the hotel. But really, what being bold is ordering from from not the menu, ordering off the menu. Because I will tell you, when I go to a restaurant, what I do is I see a flood of ingredients, and then I typically kind of make my own little mishmash. Now, I think that's being very bold. However, I am sure that server thinks it's very, very annoying, and possibly more times than not. My food will be spat in, but hey, I get what I want. And they ask very nicely. But the reason for that is when you are comfortable with asking for the small things in life, it gives you the skills, the habit, and the confidence to ask for the big things in life. If you can ask for a table by the window, you can ask for the opportunity you really want. Because boldness doesn't begin with grand gestures, it begins with the small, simple acts of courage repeated over and over. So remember, the 10% target isn't about just chasing success, it's about rewiring your mindset. It's about teaching yourself that rejection is not the end, it's part of the process. It's about learning that the more you ask, the more you open doors. You don't even know the doors will open, you don't even know they existed. And when you practice that kind of boldness day after day, moment after moment, you stop living on default, you start living by design.
So, how do you practice failing 9 out of 10 times? Or how do you get comfortable failing 9 out of 10 times? And the answer is practice. The more you do something over and over and over again, that becomes your new normal. Just how you would train your body to be strong, you train your brain to be bold. So, I have one action item here for everybody here, which is write down anything you want most in life and then make 10 attempts at it. And it has to be 10 attempts. You have to embrace the 10% target. You have to commit to making 10 attempts because that's how the idea is. You are basically chasing what you want and not just taking what you can get. Now, I had a whole section here about all of my colossal failures and how they led to a million success. And I took it out because we all have had that. We all have had failures. We all have had success. And the truth is, it doesn't really matter. What matters is I am living proof that when you chase what you want and don't just take what you can get, you are exponentially more happy and more satisfied with your life. The one thing that I know for sure about The 10% target is that it works 100% of the time because you either get the one thing you want or you get the thing that you were meant to do. And that's the beauty of it. Because when you set yourself with that mindset, failure is no longer something to fear. It becomes your training ground. Each no you hear, each door that closes is not evidence that you are not enough. It's evidence that you are trying. And when you are trying, you are alive. You are learning and you are preparing yourself for that one yes. That changes everything. Think about this. Everything you admire in life, from the inventions we use daily to the artists, leaders, and innovators we celebrate. They all have practiced this. They didn't stop at the rejection number one or rejection number five. They have built their lives on the willingness to take rejection number nine and still step forward on the number 10. That's what makes the 10th attempt feel even sweeter. Now, here's the truth. When you embrace the 10% target, something shifts inside you. You stop negotiating against yourself. So many of us give up before we even try. We say, oh, they won't hire me, or they won't listen to me, or I can't possibly do that. But when you commit to 10 attempts, you don't get to quit at attempt number 2 just because it felt hard. You keep going because you have already promised yourself that you will go for 10. And along the way, you discover strength in yourself and that you didn't know you had. And by the time you have made those 10 attempts, you have not only increased the odds of success, you have expanded your comfort zone. Suddenly, things that once terrified you start to feel normal, start to feel doable. And that's where the real growth happens. Outside of comfort, inside of courage. So, my challenge to you is this. Pick that one thing you want, not the thing you think you can get, but the thing your heart really wants, and chase it with the 10% target. Write it down today. Commit to 10 bold attempts. And let yourself fail 9 times if you must. Because when you chase what you truly want, not only do you give yourself a shot at extraordinary success, you also give yourself the gift of living a much braver, much fuller life. And I promise you this. Even if you don't land exactly where you imagine, you will land somewhere better than where you started, stronger, bolder, and more alive than you ever thought possible.
The topic of our video is secret to getting anything you want in life. We chose this topic because success is something everyone dreams of, but very few people know how to achieve it. We wanted to explore and share the mindset, discipline, and perseverance to turn dream into reality. The CEO we choose for our video is Arvind Krishna, the CEO of IBM. We chose Arvind Krishna because of his journey from a small town background in India to leading world's largest tech companies, which completely represent how discipline and continuous learning can help anyone achieve success in life. The experience has been really enriching. We have learned how to convert an idea into project, from scripting and shooting to editing and teamwork. It has been both fun and educational. We face several challenges like time management, syncing everyone's availabilities, retakes during shooting, and minor technical issue in editing. Overcoming these hurdles made our team more stronger. We have learned communication, leadership, and creativity skill. We have also learned how to manage responsibility under pressure, something that textbook cannot teach. The most enjoyable part was the actual shooting and behind the scene moments. Laughing at bloopers, improvising dialogues, and seeing our concept come alive on camera. We learned teamwork, patience, and mutual respect. Each team member brought different strengths, from writing to technical editing. We have also realized how collaboration multiplies creativity. Personally, I discovered leadership, time management, and problem solving skills. I also became more confident in expressing ideas and handling real world tasks. This project has taught us that good teamwork is all about communication and trust. We have learned to divide tasks efficiently, support each other, and keep the whole group motivated till the end. I contributed to script writing and coordination of the group. Through this, I have learned how to organize a team project, handle deadline, and maintain creativity.
Thank you, everyone.
First of all, we would like to thank our director, Dr. N.V. Ramana Rao sir.
Also, thanks to HOD of Department of Humanities and Social Science, Dr. Sameer Vajpayee sir.
We would also like to thank our Associate Professor, Mr. Anoop Kumar Tiwari, sir.
Special thanks to all the guard who gave us access to the shooting venues.